Welcome to the Beyond Imagination Minute with author and speaker Shana Schutte. Today, Shana is sharing from her book, Betrayed by God? Making Sense of Your Expectations.
There are a couple times when we can experience a hardened heart or develop a hardened heart. The first is when we experience great success in our lives. That can cause us to feel like we don't need God. And so we harden our heart toward Him and His ways. The second time is when we go through something very, very difficult. In the Old Testament, one of the big complaints that God had against His people, the Israelites, is that they had developed hardened hearts when they went through the wilderness. And the same thing can happen to us when we experience our own personal wilderness. We can go through something hard and we can develop a hardened heart toward God. Now, here's the big problem, is that having a hardened heart makes it so that we cannot perceive God's stuff or what He is doing in our lives. In Mark 8:17 through 18, Jesus said to His disciples, He said, "Do you still not see or understand? Are your hearts hardened? Do you have eyes but fail to see and ears but fail to hear? And don't you remember?" In these verses, it's really cool because Jesus sets out the symptoms of a hardened heart. The inability to see, the inability to understand, the inability to hear, and the inability to remember. So here's how we can know if we have a hardened heart, because we have the inability to perceive God's stuff. And our heart is like a commander, and the senses follow its lead. And so if our heart is hardened, the senses are going to follow suit. If our heart's soft, our senses are going to be pliable, and they're going to be open, and they're going to be receptive. But if our heart is hard, the senses will be hard also, and it's going to make it impossible to see and hear God. This is so key. We've got to get this, because one's entire ability to discern good from evil and to understand God's ways are destroyed by hardness of heart. And so when we go through something difficult, we do not want to allow the enemy to deceive us so that we harden our hearts toward God. When we allow ourselves to develop a hardened heart, we are cooperating with the enemy and getting into the devil's camp.
To learn more about Shana Schutte, her upcoming speaking engagements, and her book, Betrayed by God? Making Sense of Your Expectations, visit shanaschutte.com. That's Shana, S-H-A-N-A, Schutte, S-C-H-U-T-T-E.com.